Well, hello. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Let's Paint. As I promised, we're going to be doing something from Dungeons & Dragons today. We're going to be doing a Beholder. This is a Beholder variant. I've been wanting to get my hands on this one ever since I saw it, because it's actually very nice. Very gruesome looking. Today's scheme, if you can't already tell from back here, we're going to start with some Flesh Terror red. I got black just in case. I got some pure red for some dry brushing and highlights. Same thing with the demonic yellow and the moon dust. For the teeth, of course, we're going to be going with some skeleton bone, some white, or some mummy robes, and then some glistening blood. The base, we're probably just going to do the same muddy base effect that we did before. But either way, we got a lot to talk about. We're trying a new setup today, too. I got a smaller tripod. I have a ring light attached to the camera. I don't know how long that is going to last as far as, battery power. But most importantly, or I guess the biggest addition to all of this, is I have a little microphone here set up right next to me, so apologies if I'm like bumping into things and I seem like I'm tripping over stuff. Just trying to get a handle on it. Woohoo! See, already knocked something over. Things are a little terribly unbalanced, so trying to compensate. There we go. Alright, but I'm going to get myself a little bit of a larger paintbrush here. Probably go with something like this. That should be just fine. Cover that bigger surface area. But let's kick this pig. Today's music, we're actually going to start with the original Sims soundtrack, because I love that game. I was never too big into Sims. Like I've seen other people just get completely absorbed, and it gets weird. To me, it was like, why are you going to live your life on The Sims when you could just live your life? But, I mean, hey, who am I to judge, right? Here I am making a living doing miniature painting. So we've got our paint. Let's just go ahead and blip. Let's get that on there. Now, with these miniatures, they're supposedly already primed. So I did not prime anything. They're supposed to come in already primed. So we're going to assume that everything will be okay. And so far, so good. I know I'm applying a contrast paint like a base coat. I don't know if that drives anyone nuts, but it's okay. But yeah, instead of looking through this tiny little slot that I was doing before, where I'm all hunched over and looking like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, now I'm looking over the camera. So this ought to prove interesting. I feel a little more comfortable. I'm sitting more upright. I have poor posture anyway, so we'll see how my back fares for this. I also apologize if I cough or anything, or if I just sound a little off. I had been recently sick, or as we'd been saying in the Warhammer community, Nurgle has blessed me. It wasn't anything major. It was, like a 48-hour cold. We got better, and then all of a sudden yesterday, it hit me again. This time it broke out in a fever. Had the chills, had the aches and the pains and everything to go with it. It was not fun. So I spent the night on the couch, because whenever I'm sick like that, I just can't get comfortable in bed. Then again, I also suspect that I just have the wrong type of mattress. So I I was trying to put a lot of faith into those memory foam mattresses. So I actually got one from Purple, and I'm not going to sit here and bash it. That bed is awesome. However, I think it's the wrong type of mattress for me because more often than not, dude, my back just killing me on sleeping on that thing. So I think I do need a firmer mattress, which apparently studies have shown that, yeah, men need a firmer mattress. So probably going to make that adjustment one day. But I spent too much damn money on that thing, so it's not going anywhere for a while. But I figured for this session we could talk about a few things D&D related. We're not really going to discuss Critical Role too much. I haven't kept up with it. I tried. Being a new parent when campaign 3 started, it was hard. It was hard to keep up with it, especially when it's like 4 hours long, and you're tired as hell every night. And you're trying to stay awake while it's going, and you just like, I can't do this. But either way, I figured I'd also try to share some D&D stories, maybe some character concepts that some of y'all would like to try. The number one that pops into my head, it is a one-shot character. His name is Edgar Haberstash. He is 80 years old. Thought about making him 70. Either way, he's definitely retired. So he was a sorcerer. And mainly he made a living doing like parties and whatnot. Basically the magic performer at your birthday party. Stuff like that. But I decided to throw a little bit of personal stuff in there, such as with the older he had gotten, the more he had started to develop Alzheimer's. And that being personal because I've had family that we have lost to Alzheimer's. And I figured it was a little way for me to cope with it was to just make it a character and try to have fun with it. Because that is a little fear of mine, is to develop that. From what I've heard, it most likely skips a generation. So, woohoo! I've got something to look forward to, I guess. That would be a shame. But if anybody knows what that stuff is like, I mean, if you know, you know. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to address it, face it, cope with it in my own way. So I made a fun character out of it. I know that might be an odd thing to say, make a fun character with something like that. But hear me out. So Edgar Haberstash, he was a sorcerer, mainly just a party favor kind of guy. Wasn't really an adventurer. But with his deteriorating state, he, started to lose control of his power. So he basically evolved into what me and my friends call a chaos mage. So wild magic, basically. Where you cannot control your magic. You go to cast a spell and you have no idea what the hell is about to happen. So it could be anything from like a level 9 fireball to turning yourself into a potted plant, which happens more often than we care. But the way we were playing it, I'm not sure if it's official D&D rules. What we would do is we would roll a dice to see what we would cast, whether that be a cantrip, a first level spell, and so on and so forth. And then once we figure out what we're casting, then we roll the dice again on the little chart and see what spell it actually is. But anyway, so this guy retired, and he was living, his days out in a little, medieval nursing home and whatnot. And he sneezes, and poof, bamfs out of there, purely by accident, and ends up at whatever adventuring party is going on, and that's how he's introduced. He just poof, and shows up. Yeah, who the hell are you? What the hell is going on? My God, I shit myself. So he's, a retiree. He also has a cane. I always check it with the dungeon masters. No one ever really has a problem with this. His cane is actually an immovable rod, but he can't remember that. So I won't meta it. If there's one thing I don't like, it's metagaming. And lucky for me, I have not read all the books and all the rules and whatnot, so a lot of the times I just don't know how that stuff really does operate, so I can't meta. I have DM'd before, but we never really got too much out there and whatnot. We didn't dive too much. I didn't get to a lot of monsters and all that stuff, so there's still, for me, playing D&D is fantastic. It's still new and a learning experience. And I never know what the hell is going to happen. So I know, plenty of people, for instance, like this beholder, we all basically know how to take on a beholder. If you don't know, perfect. I'm not going to spoil it for you. Don't meta. But since I don't exactly know, I can't meta, so it turns out to be a fun adventure. And I honestly do have to figure out how to do it. And I find it rather difficult once you know. I mean, yes, unless your character knows, your character's seeing this kind of stuff for the first time, and you have no idea how to fight something like this. You have no idea, you don't know its weaknesses, you don't know its motives, you don't know what the hell it is. Which is always pretty challenging. Sorry, I was making sure that light was still on. But either way, Edgar, very much looking forward to throwing him out there. If anyone else wants to take that idea, by all means. He's got long hair, but he's balding on top, or his hairline is receding. So he almost looks like he has a bald mullet going on. Big purple eyes. Still got some wonder left in him. But then there's his clothes. So he wears a purple robe, because that's just what he does. And he's got some little bunny slippers. And he's got a cane. And that cane, of course, is his immovable rod. And I like Edgar. I also made a nephew of Edgar, Wenzel Haberstash. Wenzel Haberstash, if anybody is familiar with Critical Role and Tyrion Darrington, he's basically inspired by that, personality-wise. He's not an artificer or anything like that, but he walks around in gold armor, not gold-plated, gold armor, so very impractical, soft metal, because he's just not smart. All flash. Michael Bay, all flash, no substance. No offense, Michael. Uh, yeah, has a rapier, has no idea how to use it. He's not proficient in it. He just bought it because he was like, oh, hell yeah. I also have a bard. I'm known for being the bard in whatever group that we're playing. What is his name? Oh, I know his name. What's his race? Oh man, he's one of like the goat type people. Ah, damn, I cannot remember their race right now. That's embarrassing. Either way, his name is Dango Dango, and he played bango. He does not play the banjo. He plays bongos. But yeah, he's not smart. But he was slightly inspired by another Critical Role character, Pumat Soul. Doesn't really talk the same, but definitely a big old dingus who just looking to have fun, man. He just wants to play his little drums, his little bangos. That's what he calls them. But yeah, he's Dango Dango. He play bango. I'm not sure his inspiration would really truly be inspiring to anyone. If anything, he would try to sing to someone and they go, what the hell are you on about, dude? And the inspiration just wouldn't take. That's how I figure it would go down. I do very much like Dingo Dango. I have not gotten to play him yet. Like most D&D characters, you know, or D&D players, you have all the ideas in the world for all these characters, whether they have depth to them or not. You know, making one-dimensional characters is easy and fun, and they're great for one-shots. You don't have to put a lot of thought into them. But yeah. Alright, he is so red. Just obnoxiously red. Whew. This might be a quick series. I don't know yet. Oh my god. I did the dumb, folks. Let me move that aside and close this real quick, and I'll show you what I mean by I did the dumb. It's empty. Who the hell let me do this? And I call myself a professional. Oh, I don't know if you'd call me a professional. I don't really care. Call me an asshole for all I care. I will agree with you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So we kind of have to wait for a bunch of that stuff to dry. Because, you know, I applied it pretty liberally, as you guys could see. But if anything, we might just call it an episode here. Yeah, see, there's so much that's so wet. Yeah, so we'll just call it an early episode. Make it a real short one. And the next time around, it most likely will be longer. It's just going to be a bunch of dry brushing. And those teeth and the mouth in there. We're going to get some glistening blood. I'm debating on some of the fleshy bit colors that I might use in there. You know, too much red on red. Like, that glistening blood is not going to show the best, I guess, against that Flesh Terror red, because they're very similar. We might go with some alien purple. Now, purple and red might not be the best choices, but no, not necromancer cloak. And it does not come out. All right, so maybe some grimoire. Sorry, I always call it Gilmore purple. That's dyslexia for you. So grimoire purple does not really come out purple. It comes out very, very oddly. I don't like using the word very. Either way. But it might serve our purpose here. It might be a dark enough tone. I might even try to mix it with a glistening blood and then hit it with a gloss varnish just to make it look wet and everything. Maybe. We're formulating plans here, folks. Should be interesting. And it doesn't look like he has eyes on all of these tentacles. Some of them look like it, but see, so that's one of my problems when it comes to some of the D&D minis, is that they're not, you get a lot of detail, but they're not cast at the most finite detail. So like, he's supposed to have eyes on all of these tentacles, and I can barely make out the line work of where those eyes are. So I'll do my best. But either way, we'll see you guys on the next episode. I thank you guys very much for stopping in. Hey, let me know if you had any interesting, fun characters that you've created in the past. Maybe we'll compare notes. Either way, take it easy, folks, and we'll see you on the next round. Later!